Wow, boy, the devil can be busy, but God is good. I just want to thank you for tuning in to Believe Radio. Believe Radio is a 24-hour inspirational and gospel music station. The Eyes of the Conscious Soul with Sister B Mellow brings to you every first Saturday of the month from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. the Cafe Le Bleu Lounge, where there are 15 to 45-minute segments called The Corner. Each corner has a blueprint that is unique of its own. So we ask you to relax, vibe out to cool sounds, and listen to fireside chats and be inspired by affirmations and inspirational message. The first corner on Cafe Le Bleu is the Artist Talk. We showcase musicians, poets, singers, dancers, film producers, authors, comedians, gospel and R&B rappers from around the Bay Area to across the globe. They will share their creative process and their lived experience. The second corner is Why I Dream. We highlight and honor the inventions and creative work of today's brilliant mind, along with the geniuses from our past. We are preserving African American history and culture in order to keep our legacy alive. The third corner, She Who Believes Takes Off the Mask. This is where you will hear from individuals sharing their personal testimonies to what the Lord has done for them and is doing for them in their lives, which are inspirational messages. Also, we highlight the Golden Lights affirmations to impart healing medicine in the soul of the brilliant minds of today. Every second Saturday of the month is the Medicine Hour with my co host, Mr. George Pearson, who is a physician assistant, a PA. This is where we believe building a better tomorrow starts with us. Topics we cover: health issues and concerns in the African American community, healthy eating habits, education, financing, and politics, again, in the African American community. We believe taking care of our temple, mind, and spirit is essential to having mental health, mental wellness, learning how to eat healthy, and healthy thinking leads to a healthy way of living. Every third Saturday of the month is the Medicine Hour with Mr. George Pearson, the host, the founder, and producer of Education is the Best Medicine. It is a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization, which is community based, health, education, advocacy based, and a resource based organization that uses public media, resources, radio, newspapers, and the church based community health fairs to provide information and education. We believe vision is the art of seeing things yet unseen things, but bringing a light to a very dark world. Every fourth Saturday of the month, you have the kitchen table, hosted by Ms.Barbara Howard, aka Sistah B. Mellow, founder and producer of the Eyes of the Conscious Soul, and her co-host, Mr. George Pearson. We talk and have real conversations with individuals, organizations, leaders, business owners from around the Bay Area to across the globe, sharing what they are doing positive in their community. There you have it. Of course, we got to make sure we are setting the tone and sharing the information that is needed. If you are interested in marketing, advertising, or promoting your information, please contact Miss Barbara Howard, and you will see it going across the screen on Believe Radio. It is Barbara Howard, Believe Radio, Barbara at gmail.com. Where today's show is a special show. And we are honoring Mother Ernestine Howard and the other mothers, Willie B. Wooden, Annie Posey, Verdell Anderson, Adrene Baldwin, and you can say some other women that is in heaven as we speak. And then we will also honor the mothers that's here alive. So if there's any mother that you know and radio community, please say their names, for we never will forget who they are and the things that they have done for us in our lives. So at this moment, I want you, in the privacy of your home or wherever you are, just throw out a person's name, because we are about honoring our ancestors. So I would say Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth. Anybody else you guys want to throw in and say? Wendy Howard.
Esther Akiri.
Say it loud. You black and you proud. So I want to thank us for most definitely honoring the mothers, because this is what it is about. So today's show is blossoming into your purpose. And I have some beautiful young ladies that is here today, and I call them my daughters. So I'm so grateful and honored to be in their presence, because they keep me alive. They keep me motivated doing the work that I do in our family and in our community. So I want to let you introduce your names and who you are.
My name is Shan Lewis, and I'm the daughter of Barbara Howard.
Samantha Mocha Akwei. I'm the daughter of Gladys Akwei and granddaughter of Esther Okiri.
Well, thank you so much. And I just want to say that I know that those mothers, grandmothers, heavenly mothers, are proud of the work that you two are doing in your community and your personal lives, and just being young women. You young women make my heart flutter.
Aww.
And it makes life worth living, because I see hope in you all. The things that I didn't get the opportunity to do in my life, I know that you can do whatever you want to do in life. So I am so honored, and along with all the other young women that is in my life that has touched my life. I have Jesus Aries. We have Nakia Dillard. There's so many other young women that I know that are doing the darn thing. I ain't gonna say the other word, but I would say it. Y'all know me, so the B can be, I'm gonna keep it real. But I love that we can be ourselves. And there was something, Samantha, that you said to me about a couple months ago, that I give people the freedom to be their authentic self. And that's what I've been wanting to do all my life, even though the obstacles and things that I've been through in my life. But to hear that from a young woman, to say that allowed me to go to another level, that God had you say that to me for a reason. And my daughter, Chandrea, for your boldness of stepping out and leaving the family and going to school and coming back, to leave you at school, but to know that God had you. You were on a plantation where our ancestors were. I know their spirit was going to feed you. And it was easy for me to let you go. And so I'm so grateful for that. So, look, let me push back the tears. I did bring some little tissue. I brought some tissue in here for myself, but you know what? We gonna keep this real. And I'm so grateful to God for allowing me to walk into my authentic self and do the work that I do. Thank you. The work that I do in the community, oh my God, is so much that I do. I have been over 34 years unapologetically serving and advocating for African American people and our brown people. So to be able to have that opportunity, God, I don't take it lightly, because it's an honor and a privilege to serve him and to do the things that he wants us to do. Because as I always share with you guys, my life is not my life anymore. It's about you all. And whatever I can do to put you in a position, or to help you, or to guide you, or to empower you, or to inspire you to be all that you can be, that's why I'm here on this earth. And to all the other young ladies that is out there that know me, and the ones that do not know me, that's my role. That's my responsibility. That's my duty. And I hold it to my heart. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in to Believe Radio, which is a 24-hour inspirational and gospel music station. Please go on the website, like it, whatever you have to do, what you do, you like it, you comment on it, and you share it. Please, please let the Believe radio station be your inspirational music station, is what we're hoping and praying that you would do. So please tap into that. And then, so blossoming into your purpose. So with that, I have, you guys know me, God uses words. I am a word fanatic, but I'm an inspirational poet too. So, my spoken word is called inspirational poetry rooted from God. Yeah. And then I also do Sistah be Mellow poetry. But I'm so grateful to be in your presence. But today is about you, but I know y'all gonna ask me some questions and y'all gonna, but one thing that I do know that I love, that I have to do is be authentic, be transparent, because my story is not my story anymore. My story is to inspire, encourage, and hopefully heal someone. So I don't mind sharing the truth about me, because again, I say it's not about me, and it's about what God is doing through me. I hope that I'm doing what he's asked me to do, as my ancestors did. I always say that it is our turn to do what they did. They did their part. They passed the baton. Now they ask me every day, what are you going to do? And I try to make sure that I am intentionally walking in purpose. And when I'm not, he knows how to reel me back in. So I say, I thank God for that. But again, you have tuned into the Eyes of the Conscious Soul with your sister, Sistah be Mellow. That comes to you all every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Believe Radio. Again, how y'all young ladies doing?
Awesome.
All right. So my word today is truth. How do you walk in your truth? And how important is it to walk in truth? And anybody can start. We just, y'all know how we do. We have candid conversations, real hot topics, conversations. You guys know how we do. So I know you are pretty young ladies, but I'm going to have you speak a little loud and, maybe push it up a little closer. But go ahead. Anybody can start. Don't be shy. Y'all ain't shy.
Well, if to back up for a second, right? You've been saying you're honored to be in our presence, right? I think it goes without saying tenfold that we are so humbled, right, to be able to be invited, right, to this space, to your life, to your vision, right? For the longest, I remember a couple of months ago, even last year, when we were talking about the things that we were going to do in the visioning process, and how you were having a conversation with brother Cesar, and you were saying, if I could really do something, I would want to be on a radio station, right? That's what I'm doing, right? So to reflect back on that conversation.
And it's coming from underground. I've come from underground radio, started in the Bayview District in San Francisco, then came over to More Public Radio International.org, which was an FM, AM, and online, and then went to Yale Radio with Sister Yolanda Littles, and now here with Believe Radio with Adam and Brother Curtis. My God, a dream come true.
So I have to say that, right? I think it's relative to the question when we talk about like truth, right? I think that truth is so hard, right? Because there's an intimacy, there's a vulnerability that's attached to, at least in my personal, right? Truth is not always, or people talk about the butt naked truth.
Right.
It's not always able to see, let alone accept, right? But when I see individuals like yourself who are living their truth, right, it makes it a little easier. Because I'm like, we literally had that conversation about you talking about the radio station, doing it, right? Did an episode with you with Yolanda Little, right?
Yes.
And now to be
because you're a bad spoken word artist.
Right?
I'm gonna have her do something for us for today, y'all. She's a bad sister.
Right? it becomes easier when it's right in front of me. Like I can feel you, I
Right,
can
right,
touch
right,
you,
right.
right? And I think that people are looking for something that's actualized, right? People always talk about they're very aspirational with their words, not necessarily with their actions, right? But
Gotcha.
when you're able to see it, you're like, she's really living her truth. This is real.
Right.
I'm like, okay. It almost challenges me to do the same. So, how am I living my truth? I think being here, being a witness to you, it's not gonna come right away. But the moments that I walk away and I have to make a decision as to, do I want to be myself? Can I be myself?
Yes.
I'm like, I was just in a space where I could. So it allows me to be more open to receiving that. So, yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Go ahead. Boy, I told you, life is worth living with these young women. Look at here. They inspire me every day.
Absolutely. I would have to say, from Samantha's point of view of paying homage, one, you said that this is a unique show. It's very unique to me because I'm sitting here with my mother, who has paved the way for me to be in my truth, and an example of a woman to start with my grandmother's to pass down, and for you to be acceptant of being who Barbara Howard is and where she's come from, and very transparent of her story, and nobody can tell her story better than she can tell her story, and this is a part of your story. So when you say truth, I think to me truth is a key that you pass down to me, to be able to unlock different versions of myself and be able to live in my truth and accept my truth. So when you say living in my truth, it starts with me saying yes and me saying no.
Look, we both said all right, audience out in the radio land, did you say too?
I say, to start with yes and no, you have to be comfortable with knowing just the small words of that. Small words, but major impact. Me being 30, actually just making 30.
All right.
Stepping into, I would say, a different chapter. Stepping into a different chapter and understanding the word truth. That's something that I'm studying within myself. And so, just going back to the example that you have given me, that you've shown me, the pathway, the different tools that's in my toolbox, that when trying times come, I can go back and reference to. And my root is God. My root is Scripture. My root is faith. So when you say truth, my truth is in Him. And I'm currently discovering that. And it gets interesting every day because He blows my mind with the smallest things, but they're so major. And it's almost like a puzzle.
Right. That makes life worth living. Absolutely. When it's that way. You know, at the moment we don't understand, but if we trust Him and believe on Believe Radio, look, we can. It makes life, for me. Yes. It makes life easier. And you know, because we all, good, bad, ugly, challenges, we're gonna have that in our lives. But I want to piggyback off of what you were saying about. It just brought me back to a time when I had made the conscious decision to work for my parents. And of course, you didn't get the funding. A lot of, the money wasn't great. However, the love was there, and you got the freedom, and you got to be your own boss. So that was the decision that I made consciously, wanting to make sure that I worked in my family business, and all the other things just weighed out for me. And it's just amazing how God has taken me from our father in Wendy's Cheesecake Bakery in the Bayview district, started from with a 6th grade education, and said, whatever you set your mind to doing in life, it can be done. And believing that in our home, saying it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud, and all the inspirational music and that we needed to inspire ourselves and to never give up. And he always shared, he said, you control the situation, you don't let it control you. And it's stuck in my mind through many things that has happened to me in my life. And it just allows me to go back to one day sitting in the welfare office. And the people didn't understand that I wasn't there just using the system. I was there because I needed the assistance. And I came in, every time I went, I was pleasant. I didn't treat anybody negatively. I spoke to them as though they were somebody. And I sat there and I just watched the young women and the young men come in and out of the welfare office. And I said to myself, one day, Lord, I would like to be able to teach classes to inspire them to how do you interact with individuals? How do you come in there and own your truth, even though you're getting assistance, but you are somebody? How do you still walk in with your head held high with confidence as though you are somebody? Because those systems make you feel as though you're not. And it just many a times I sat there, and I do know in those moments that I had the guards, I had the folks that worked there. They were looking at me as though I wasn't like coming in, speaking negatively, talking to them crazy. And I knew then that I was a light. That was a part of my life, to be a light in there to someone else, is that you don't know someone's story. You don't know why they're there. So don't take it upon yourself to read their chapters in their book and you know nothing. So it was exciting to me, in a sense, to say, one day, and I'm still hoping and praying that one day that God's going to open up those doors for me to do that. And I do the work for, the workshops and the soul work in our actual community. But I just wanted to share that moment. That's what, when you said that, it brought me back to being able to own your truth, even though I was getting assistance, but it was to help put food on my table. And the money that I got from the business was to help me pay my rent and then other things, stuff like that. So, and then family. So it's just to the mothers, never give up on yourself. Even though your circumstances may be different than somebody else's, don't worry about it. Believe in you, trust in God, hold on to the woman that is inside of you. That is great. So thank you, ladies, for sharing that. And the next word is, I'm going to go back to that one, but the word is your heart. How important is it to, all right, late radio, all right, out there in radio land.
How's your heart?
And the reason why I say, how is your heart? Because in my workshops and the exercises that I do, I have people put their hand on their heart and tell your heart that you love it. Because even though all the pain and the suffering and the different things that you have allowed your heart to go through, before it was designed in your mama's womb for that heart to be designed, and then it's still with you now. To know how important your heart is, it's I think I'm like, oh, thank you, I love you, because all of the painful things that I put you through, I talk to my heart, and I encourage others to do the same. So how is it important, your heart? Anybody can start.
Sacred space.
A sacred space. Okay, let's be real. Y'all know how we do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's certainly, from, let's talk biological, then get real theoretical, right? I think from,
speak up, sexy.
Is
beautiful queen.
There's the organ function. We're all alive.
Yes.
Just put that on the table. We're
Absolutely.
all alive.
Yes.
Right. So, and the heart's function is to pump blood throughout our bodies. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and oxygen.
Yes.
Right. But also I think about, people think about our heart in terms of your emotional space, your mental space, right, your physical space, and everything. So I think about the word healing comes to mind, right? I think that there's something about, at least in my experience, when we ask specifically, where is my heart right now? I think it's in the space of healing.
Yes.
Right? Family, friends, relationships. It all goes to say that a heart is not a treasure chest to store everything.
Yes.
I think I'm learning to have it almost like as a doorway, not for people to come
that's a good
in
analogy.
and out, right?
Yes.
But it is a journey. So if somebody is to experience, if I allow people into my heart, right, I am still the owner.
Watch yourself now.
Right. So I have authority to say how long they stay. Right. And I think that's a mental piece of it. Like, am I giving them too much heart space, too much head space? Right. I remember a friend of mine saying, I think you think a lot with your heart and not with your head. I was like, what does that mean? Right. Am I just making emotional decisions? Right. So I think there's a balance that needs to happen. And I'm speaking for myself, right? In terms of being able to feel things, but not be reactionary, right? To be able to assess a situation, and then assess what options, right? What responsibility did I have? Accountability, right? At the end of the day, I'm in charge of my own heart. Nobody else isn't in charge of it. And I think that's the difficult part too, because if I share my heart with multiple people, I'm like, you're responsible for taking care of it, right? And they're like, no, like I have my own heart, right? And I'm in charge of my own heart, right? So I think there's something about I'm learning healing and balance and how to be a good steward of my own heart, and not for anybody else, right? But for myself, right? And healing is a process. So it definitely takes time. It's taking time.
Absolutely.
But I'm grateful to still be alive.
All right, now.
Right.
Look at here. And it's beating. It's like, thank you. I love you.
Right. And the last thing I'll say on this is I remember being in a space where I just felt so like distraught. I was just in a bad place emotionally. And I remember getting a physical for like a trip I was going on. And the doctor was just like, oh, do you work out? And I was like, yeah, I work out. And he was just like, your heart is in great condition. And, or he was like, your blood pressure is in great condition. I was like, oh, okay. Right. None of that mattered to me. Right. Because I was going through all of this. Right. But I say that to say, you just never know what people are going through. Externally, I was just like, oh, my life is a wreck. Right. And internally, he was like, you're in pretty good shape. You're like, keep doing what you're doing. I'm like, if you only knew. Like, keep doing what I'm doing. Right? So, and I think that's the delicacy of the heart. We really don't know where people are, especially with all that's going on in the world. Absolutely. Right. So when we meet people, I think that because we're only in charge of our hearts, we can show up with our heart and allow people to engage that, because we don't know where other people's hearts are. Right. So to be able to offer that can make all the world of a difference sometimes.
Thank you for sharing.
Well, for me, heart is connected with nurture. So nurture is pouring in and removing.
Watch yourself now. It says in the Ecclesiastics is a time and place for everything, huh?
Absolutely. So
throw away, gather.
Yes. As I continue to journey through life, just to piggyback on what Samantha said, it is definitely a healing space. And recognizing that it is okay to be in a healing space.
Yes. That's good.
Just going back to knowing the different steps or versions of yourself while being in a vulnerable space. So for when she said controlling and you are in control, that just reminds me of yes and no.
Yeah. It says in the word, let your yes be yes and your no be no.
So, but heart for me, it's I've heard all my life that I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I wear my heart on my sleeve. So to hear that and compare the different situations that I've been in my life thus far and the people that I've encountered, it comes across as a curse, but also as a good thing. Because I am a very caring person. I am a very passionate person. So for someone to say you wear your heart on your sleeve, to me, that is like, okay, is that for me to be cautious, or is that for me to continue to do? So that's the space that I'm in, is understanding and learning to understand my own heart before trying to understand someone else's.
What boy, you young ladies! I told you, a radio land. These young women gives me inspiration. Gives me, listen to me. I can't even get the words right. Give me inspiration to do the work that I'm doing in my life. They just make my life pleasant. So
do you.
Wow, thank you. So again, thank you both for sharing your thoughts on that word. Once again, you have tuned in to Believe Radio, which is a 24-hour inspirational gospel and music station. Today, we are having a special Mother's Day honor, and it is blossoming into your purpose. So, again, we want to thank you for tuning in. Please tell a friend to tune in to Believe Radio. Share it, like it, and comment on it. And we hope that the messages and the information and the things that we're bringing to you is enlightening to your mind, your spirit, and your soul. Every first Saturday of the month, you have the Cafe Le Bleu Lounge. And then the second Saturday of the month, we have the Medicine Hour. The third Saturday of the month, we have Education is the Best Medicine. Every fourth Saturday of the month, we have the Kitchen Table. But today, again, we have a special segment that we are doing in honor of Mother's Day. It's kind of early, but it's okay. It's okay to be early. So my next word for you is, and you kind of piggybacked off of it and touched on it a little bit and everything, your spirit. How important is it to nurture your spirit, and how do you yourself nurture your spirit? I'm glad they're thinking questions, thinking words. Give you time to think.
Yeah, the essence of spirit is um, like that which you cannot see, but you can feel.
Mm-hmm.
And how important it is to nurture my spirit. I think what comes to mind is just being in tune with myself, those around me, like being, and one of the things I'm practicing is just being present.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think that I'm such a planner. Right?
Yes, you are.
And B.
And she
C,
is too. It's like, okay,
D.
you too. And I'm spontaneous. So y'all be like, Miss B. Like,
right. Just
that
like,
was the plan.
Right.
On Monday we're going to do this, and Friday we're going to do this.
Right.
And life, if you've ever met life.
Okay. I think we all have. Right.
Life doesn't, Mr. and Mrs. Life, they don't quite work like that. Right. Sometimes being in tune with spirit is listening for when the spirit is like, don't do that. Don't go there.
Mm-hmm.
Go. And I know that it's spirit because it's not my idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Sometimes I'll hear, if I can say, the Holy Spirit, right, where I'll hear something and it won't be my initial thought, right? And I'll share, for instance, there was a word that came to me as I was texting a friend. We recently fasted together, and the word that just kept coming up was open, just open, open, open. And then as I was texting her, I was like, yeah, God is asking me to be open. But then the way it was broken down, it was like, then pen.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I was like, wait a minute. I paused, right?
Mm-hmm.
The general, how many times have we heard the word open?
Right.
So I literally went and looked up it's the 15th letter of the alphabet.
Watch yourself. Go ahead. Come on now. All right now. See, I told y'all in Radio Land, I love these young women.
Right. So we're talking about spirit, right? I would have never, I was just like, I'm about to do this, this, and this. And some of this said just be open, but it said, pen, right? And then it was 15th letter of the alphabet. 15 represents just like rest, right? 14 is the number of deliverance, right? So rest after deliverance,
right.
But then also this idea of writing and the word pen not being foreign, but I feel like in the realm of spirit, right? It's not like I'm not supposed to just be writing anymore. I'm supposed to be like, all the things that I'm writing, I'm living out.
Yes.
Now it's like the when we talk about pen, I'm actually living out all that I've been writing, all that I've been envisioning, all just like how you're living it out right now. You're no longer saying, I just want to be, you're actually doing it too, right? So when we talk about being in tune with spirit, for me, it's about being present. It's about listening, right? Not just being so married to my plan, right? This is mine and this is the way I want to do it, right? It's making sure I'm listening, not just to myself, but to those around me, right? I'm practicing saying, not always having a response for everything, right? I think sometimes when we get into, I'll speak for myself, I don't want to tell what nobody else is to myself, right? You get into a dialogue with somebody and it's going back and forth, and then the spirit will be like, don't respond, just listen. And you don't even need to say, I'm listening. Just be like,
now I have to stop you right there. And I'm going to let you go. Now, because this is God. And the reason why I can say that, I'm sitting here and guess what word just popped in my mind? Listen. Go ahead. Keep going.
So, I mean, that's how
he works.
Right? I think if we're talking about
my
spirit,
goodness,
it's in contrast to we can't see it,
yes,
right? It's all contrary to the five senses, but they all work together. They're all like all things work together
for good for them who love the Lord and are called according to His purpose. Alrighty now,
right? So I have to remove me from it, the physical self, the fleshly self, the one who's just like, I did this and God bless me now, give me this thing, right? And the spirit is just like, I have a better plan. I didn't tell you this better plan.
By the way, Mr. and Mrs. Life.
Mr. and Mrs. Life. They're like, we gonna sit back because you're gonna come back anyway. Right? So, why don't you just sit back and listen? You don't even have to say that you're listening. Just
yes.
That's where I am in spirit and what spirit has been teaching me and what means to me right now.
Okay, thank you. Oh my God.
I'm laughing because we haven't spoken, I don't know how long, but that is exactly where I am. I Samantha, I'm trying to tell you, like Chandrea had a plan. It's not going that way. It is chaos in my head. And all you hear is listen.
Wow.
Do not listen to respond, as you said. Listen to listen. So I am overjoyed right now. I told you he keep blowing my mind. And I asked literally a couple of months ago, and I was talking to my mom, and I kept saying, I just want to get back to the space where I just hear clearly from God. And when you say your quietness,
yes,
that's connected to me. So being quiet doesn't mean that you don't have to talk. You can be quiet in a conversation. You can be quiet in footsteps. You can be quiet in a lot of different things where you're still taking action, but you are being observant and internalizing. So for me, when you guys say that, I'm lost for words because you literally said everything that's in my head. So when you say you have a plan, God said, okay, I'm gonna let you go so far. You're gonna hop back on the bus. Okay. You're gonna come back to this stop.
Wait, he told you that too?
Listen. Okay. You're gonna hop on the bus, come back to this stop, and then you're gonna wait for my instruction.
Yeah.
So I am in a waiting period.
Wow.
And right now, the waiting period for me is he is literally cleaning up everything that I chose to bring onto my path. That now he's like, okay, now you're gonna wait to see what exactly you did and what you brought, where you could have just took my way, and you wouldn't have all this baggage because it's heavy. So for me, it's like I am just excited to have a new plan. Yeah. Well, not even a new plan. Go back to the original plan. But the original plan, I could have just waited and figured it out. Like you said, he didn't tell you. He don't have to tell you.
He should. He can show you better. He can tell you.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm in the waiting room.
Hey, all right now. You hear that out there in Radio Land? We're in the waiting room. All right now. And it's crazy that when you said that, it brought me back to something that I did for you all when you guys was little. And what I would do as a mom, because I would tell my kids that we have mental shutdown quiet time. And that meant you've been talking since you got up at 7 o'clock this morning to through school, through the night, coming home. And I said, well, we're going to do. And it was a practice in my house and we did it. And what I would have them do is they would either they were able to write, take their pen, they can write, but no talking. They were able to draw. They were able to do whatever they wanted to do, play a game, but they could not talk at all. And what God gave me is that gave them the opportunity to be able, without a doubt, to tune into themselves and be quiet with them, and didn't need a whole lot of distractions going on, which we know in the world. And God says, be still at times. So as you guys were saying, quiet, be still. So that just brought me that practice. The family members, my nephews and my nieces, they were like, oh no, we don't want to go to Auntie Barbara's house because she's gonna do the mental and my friends' kids. She's gonna do the mental shutdown quiet time. We don't want to go over there. However, I understood that if you don't know how to be quiet and listen to your own thoughts and be okay with your own thoughts, which is hard. So I did that at an early age. And I'm so grateful that I did. I have a lot of the mothers come back to me and say, girl, I started that mental shutdown quiet time. And it gave me the opportunity to tune into myself, to be quiet, to do what I needed to do, to cook, to clean, to whatever I needed to do, prepare for school for them, whatever. But before, they were like, oh girl, you're so mean. I'm like, that's not being mean. I just want them to be able to learn how to listen and be still and be okay with them.
Is that where I've learned how to be comfortable with myself?
Yes. She has no problem with being. Okay. Yes, that's a major part. So again, we have tuned into Believe Radio, which is a 24-hour gospel and music station. Please, if you're interested in advertising, don't hesitate to get in contact with me. If you would like to be interviewed, get in contact with me. If you would like to share your story, because this is what it's about for me. I always tell individuals, good, bad, ugly, challenging, your story is important. Never let nobody take that away from you, and own it. Own your story, because it's different chapters. That's a part of your life. And that's what for me, it gave me the opportunity to look at my life in a different perspective. Even though the situations, as I said earlier, my life is not about me. My life is about inspiring and encouraging and motivating somebody else. And I'm hoping and praying that that's what I have done, and what the show is about, blossoming into your purpose. And you young women sharing the information that you share today, this is a part of your purpose. You may not realize what we're not saying you don't realize, because you do, because I'm talking to people that understand, and y'all know what I'm talking about. So later down the line, today, tomorrow, next week, everything that I love about God, how he's putting the puzzle together, and you'd be like, oh my, I now understand what the grandmama was saying. Oh, you'll understand it by and by. You'll know a little later. So I'm understanding as I get older. I'm 57. I'll be 58 June the 21st. So I'm excited about how I can reach back in my mind and allow the spirit of my ancestors to talk to me, because I do. That's who I hear. I hear the Lord, and I hear my ancestors speak to me, and tell me, this is what I want you to do. So the things that I'm doing is not, it's a part of, I get to joyride. on the things that they wanted me to do in my life. So I'm so excited about this. Again, you have tuned in to the Eyes of the Conscience Show with Sister B Mellow and my special guests who are
Shan Lewis.
Samantha Akwei.
And these are my daughters. And I'm so grateful that they are here with me today. So my next word is, and time flies while we're having fun, but we're going to get through this. Balance. Balance.
You just coming with the what? Like the dig. We going dig.
She is with the blow.
Yes.
How important it is to balance and have a work-life balance, to have self-care balance. And God's been working with me on looking at the basketball games and the quarters. It's 4 quarters in a game, but it's 15 minutes. And God said, you could do a lot in 15 minutes. And that's a part of how do you breathe? How do you take time to breathe? How do you take time to do different things? Because we always say, oh, we don't have enough time to do this. God said the pandemic proved to us, oh, yes, you do. You got a lot of time, but it's up to you how you're going to utilize your time. So I've been in this 15 minutes, this court thing. And he's like, don't tell me what you can't do. Because you could do a lot of in 15 minutes. And it's like, you know what? You can. The basket, and they in there playing hard.
Yeah.
Different parts of the game, different strategies. God said, look at life that way. Be in the game. And I love boxing. I'm a boxing fan. And it's in my mind, and my dad, you know, he always said, stick and move, champ. So when difficult times in my life come or different things come in my life, I remember those words, stick and move, champ. You got this. God is in your life. You got this. He gonna show you what to do. You got this. And I have to continue to keep coming back to this because I have a lot of people say, and that's a lot of things that I do. It's a lot on my plate that I do. And I'm grateful and I'm honored and it's an honor and a privilege to do it. You know, I'm the founder and the coordinator of the Juneteenth celebration, which is coming up. It's our 15th year anniversary, June the 25th. We're going to have the celebration in the West Oakland, and we'll share a little bit more about it. If you want to be a vendor, if you want to be in, we already got a lot of artists that's going to be there, but however, and the community awards starts at 2:00. We have a fashion show, hip hop TV, you know, the Just Be Unique fashion show by the Royalty Ladies Catering Service. So honoring all of that. And we have an array of different people that's going to be there. We have the Black Culture Zone. We're going to have the skating ring piece going to be there. The Play Day Outdoor Coma Market and the Downtown Tay and the YAB, HHREC. You know, they got the Tay area with y'all with the, you know, y'all, the stage, y'all end of the stage, and it's just going to be exciting. And the health fair, we have brother with the International Film Festival, we have David Roach, and we have homies empowerment. We have so many people that's going to be there. We have the Godfather Motorbike extraordinaire. You know, he comes out and he brings so many gifts for the people. We have our vendors. So it's going to be exciting. And we have so many other individuals are going to be there, but stick with us. We're going to share that information. You will see some information on Facebook. We'll be advertising and all. Oh, J Red, the comedian J Red, he's going to do a gospel explosion, and that's going to be from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. So we're going to have a good time. And that's what it's about. Not only that you're going to come and have a good time, but you're going to be educated. So I'm excited about that. But with that,
you're saying
balance, being able to balance. Oh my God. And then doing workshops and then doing my job, you know, so
you balance a lot.
Oh my goodness. And you know, I don't know how I do it other than God. I tell people, they like, Miss Howard, how do you do all what? And I'm like, it ain't me. Believe me. I'm like, okay, Lord, show me, guide me to what you want me to do, how to iron this thing out. You know, so to keep my mental balance, because mental health is important, you know. And I thank God for NAMI CC and Black Minds Matter too, Miss Gigi Crotter, because NAMI CC is about mental health. How do you encourage? How do you promote? How do you bring workshops and education and resources to the forefront to people that are experiencing mental challenges? So go ahead, keeping your balance. So I might have took up the time to say that, but if you had anything else to say on balance, you're more than welcome. I'm gonna get through these other 3 words I got to do, but go ahead.
I mean, what comes up for me when I think about so many different things came up when you were talking, and then I had a question for you too.
Oh,
right? But I want my sister
oh
to
boy!
go first, right?
Oh boy!
So, like, I think for me, it's been less balance and more so just prioritizing, right? I remember reading a book and it was saying that at least when it comes to God, right, I can say. I can't balance a relationship with God because nothing else can be on that scale, right? Like God is above everything that I can do, right? So this idea of balance is how can I prioritize what's most important to me, the things that I value, right? And I think that we give time to things that we value, right? So being able to balance, and you mentioned just boxing, they often call it like the sweet sport, right? So, and it's more so about like tactic, right, and technique, right? You're not just fighting to fight, right? You're fighting, and then when you get that right, and also because then you'll go around just beating people up,
right? Well, we don't do that. We don't. Right? Look, we're not encouraging that.
We're not encouraging that, right?
We're not encouraging that.
Like, but if people like it, the fascination of the tactic, it's sweet, right? In that way, and then when you really do have to fight, you know that's a whole different situation. I don't know if I want to mess with you in that arena, right? Because now she really knows how to fight, right? So when I think about balance, I think about what's most important to you, or the question for me is what's been most important to me. What are the time that I'm given to, right? Or when I think about people talk about relationships, right? Balance in relationship. And it's like people say you can't have 50-50. Right? It has to be 100.
100. Come on now.
That sometimes people won't be able to give that 100. They just can't. They're tired. Are you going to be like, well, you can't give it, so I'm only giving 30 today? Right? So I think it comes down to values and priorities, right? But in the realm of a special Mother's Day edition, right? And I want my sister to go first, but and then asking you, right? If there's anybody who knows balance, is mothers. But then also bringing it back to your word in terms of like waiting, right? That 9-month period, that 3 seasons that women have to go through.
Come on now.
So,
ooh,
right?
Look, you two ain't mothers yet, but ooh,
we're not
Lord.
mothers yet, right?
But y'all gonna be. But ooh,
that we
Lord.
have to look forward to, right? So we're talking. I'm learning to balance now. I can't imagine what it is to balance with 3 kids. Lord, right? Give me one, I'll be okay, right? So I just can't imagine, right? So, but again, like prioritizing, right? This is a calling that we've accepted. So how do you give attention to each of these things and know that each of them are just as valuable? And I'm sure that every child is different.
Yes.
Right. So
different personalities, different
new realm.
Yes.
But that's where I am in terms of balance. So I'll turn it over to you.
Y'all don't understand how Samantha is in my head. Literally, when you say balance and prioritizing, it's for me.
But God brings confirmation. And this is what we love about him. And we're hoping that you are feeling the vibe and feeling and understanding what we're here doing in the studio. And we hope that God is saying something to you too.
Absolutely. So for me, it's like you said, prioritizing, but stop procrastinating. Be in a space where you are taking action.
Yeah.
And like you said, for example, months ago, she was saying that she would love to be back on the radio. We're here. We're in that space. So for me, it's a sharp action when it comes to balance and knowing what your goal is. Goals and balance, to me, that goes hand in hand. So for when somebody says balance, to me, that's completion. What did you complete? What did you set forth to complete in that moment or in that month, in that year? A start and an end. I mean, it touches a whole different realm when you talk about balance, because balance is so huge. But it's a center.
Yeah.
It's centering yourself to know that you're going to be pulled in different directions. But what is the
root? We both say, this is the, come on, ladies.
But what is the root? So for example, like when you have a cake, but you know you have your grandmother's cake. The ingredients that goes in there, you like, she used a little bit of nutmeg, she used a little bit of cinnamon, she used a little bit of something. Yes. But you can't put your finger on it. So that's where I am. I'm in the
creating your own recipe.
Exactly.
And look, you were told that in
Oh my God. Oh my God. My pastor told me it's time for you to create your own recipe. And so it just brings everything back around full circle. And it started with the pass down of the torch, like you said. So follow up to my question. I know Samantha has a quick question for you. So what would you say what was the one unique thing you learned from your mother that you passed down to your children in motherhood?
Oh my God, obedience. Obedience.
That just
and let your word be your word. Yes. You know, if you say you're going to do it, try your best to do it, but obedience. Yes. She was obedient to what God asked her to do.
Absolutely.
And steadfast. Being obedient and steadfast. And yeah. Wow. And holding on.
Yes.
She always would say, I'm so glad you said that. I would hear her as a little girl in the kitchen singing this particular song. And I knew she was going through something. I knew we had something going on in the house, bills or whatever that needed to be paid. And she would be in the kitchen singing this song. And it was about being tossed to and fro, being in a shipwreck, but knowing that God has the ship in the palm of his hand. And she would be, and I would stand on the outside of the kitchen and just sit there and listen to her. And that song made me, I would hear her sing it, and it did something to my spirit. And when I got in situations, I would call her and I would say, Mom, sing that song for me. And she would sing the song. And that song would inspire me and it just encourage me and it ignite me to keep going. And go ahead. I'm Jesus.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. And this is a part of the balance.
Absolutely.
Right. I don't think that it has to be so formal, so to speak. Like it was a song for you. It wasn't a direct like deadline. Right. It was just like, all I need is a song. So part of the balance is the self-care and what are the things that you need in order to remain in balance. You needed a song.
Yes.
Right. So, and I don't think that we oftentimes I can't even speak because I'm not a mother, but mothers, right? Does balance exist in motherhood, right? Or are you expected to just juggle everything and it's just like, this is just the way that it is? Or do you put your foot down and say, I'm going to have balance. I'm going to be able to have 5 minutes to
put your foot down. Put your foot down, mama. Look at here. Put your foot down.
Right?
Look, kids.
Your quiet time. Right?
Mental shutdown, quiet time.
Right. So,
look at here.
Like, what's a part of your balance? It sounds like songs.
Yes.
Right. Particularly that song.
That's amazing that you asked that question too, because it is songs.
Yes.
Growing up in the home, listening to the different songs. I love music. I am a music. Even if I'm by myself, I have a good time listening to my music. It does something to my spirit.
Yes.
It does. It just does something to my spirit.
Well, you answered the question. What feeds your spirit?
Yeah.
Music. Music.
We got hot topic right here. We got a countdown.
We got a top. Oh my goodness. Where are we?
Having fun time.
Oh my goodness. And thank you for looking at oh my goodness, young ladies. We are going to have to definitely do this again. This is not, but boy, I thank you for blossoming and walking into your purpose And this is a part of my purpose to be here with you all and to say I thank you as being my daughters and allowing me to be in your life. You know, this is a special celebration for the mothers. Hey, mothers out there, heavenly mothers and the mothers in the Bay and across the world. We love you. We honor you. We give homage to what you're doing. Please take care of yourself. Love on you. And thank you for tuning in to Believe Radio. Woo-hoo! You're on the Eyes of the Conscience. So thank you and have a good one. Peace.